The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
All right, people, break out your notebooks and pencils and slide rules. You're listening to Tech Talk Radio with true geeks. And by the way, I'm Dee Snyder, and I'm a geek too.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Welcome, guys. How you guys been?
It's been good. It's been one of those crazy weeks.
It's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
For you, Sean, you did something last week. You weren't even around.
Yeah, what happened to you?
We had just I got caught up in some tech stuff at work. We're having issues with one of our broadcasts, and we're transitioning from fall sports into winter sports. So we've just got a lot going on. So trying to juggle all of the different things, get caught up, and not managing my time very well. So
you know what I did this week? I got to tell you, it's pretty fun. A few months ago, one of my listeners from the early morning radio stuff that I used to do years ago knows that I fix systems. And it's been a while, and I helped her recover a hard drive once. But then she reached out to me and says, I got this laptop. I can't charge it. So it was like, wow, okay. I have not done like a computer repair in a while. Mm. Oh, my God. It was like therapeutic to take this laptop. I brought it home, and I picked it up, and I brought it home, and I took the screws out, and then I started, okay, I do this here, and next thing you know, I had the motherboard pulled out of the laptop, and I'm replacing the power jack. I ordered the jack. It's already arrived. I get it put back in, everything, put it back together, and everything's working great. There's something therapeutic about doing that because we haven't been doing that. And, the whole right to repair thing is currently kind of going through the systems right now because a lot of companies are making these systems. You can't repair them. And that's you might hear that term, right to repair. But I tell you, it was really therapeutic. So
I did something similar today.
What'd you do?
Well, I had a PC from a neighbor that needed a repair. She wanted to reinstall Windows.
Oh, that's easy.
I had the day off today because the kid was sick and I needed to take care of him, obviously. So while he was down for the naps, multiple naps, thank gosh, I rebuilt this computer. So I had her purchase a license to Windows.
She didn't have one?
Well, no. So the computer was her former employer, but they didn't want the computer back.
Ah, got it.
But the license was tied to them, and group policy stated that she could not do any Windows updates. She couldn't, reinstall, all that stuff. So like the hard drive needed to be wiped. So I had her purchase a license to Windows. I went on to Microsoft.com and I found the download for the USB stick version of Windows 10. It was super simple. A media creation tool already comes with the Windows 10 in the background. And I just click on, I want a USB. The other option was a DVD.
Right.
And I just did USB, click next, boom, Windows 10 was on the USB. So then I opened up the computer, I put it in, put the USB in. I told the BIOS to boot off the USB, went bam, 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 installed Windows, no problem. We get to the point, though, that I had to sign in with her Microsoft account. In order to, here's the thing, you can't install Windows anymore without signing into your Microsoft account. I did not realize
you couldn't
that.
Skip? Because
Nope.
I know.
No. You could skip until the next, it would say, don't want to sign in for now? Click skip. You click skip, and then it's like, get to know Windows with blah, blah, and you click next, and it's like, in order to get to know Windows, we need to sign you in. And it's like, oh my gosh. So it was like a never-ending loop.
Yeah.
So you had to sign into Windows. So I'm like, I'm messaging her. I'm like, hey, I hate to say this, but I need your Microsoft ID and your password.
Right.
And she's like, I don't remember my password. I don't remember my email. We ended up figuring out her email address. But I said, I need your password. She's like, I don't remember it. So I clicked on the forgot password link. And then it's like, we're going to text you at this number. And I told her, is this your number? She's like, not anymore. I'm like, well.
Oh, to
Okay. So I clicked on another button and it says, if you can't complete this, you need to go to this website to complete the activation of, or not activation, to complete the password reset process.
Right.
Problem is this URL is on her laptop and there's no way for me to copy and paste it. So I literally had to type a 64 character string at the end of the account.live.com/ and then boom, a 64 character string at uppercase, lowercase, and numbers.
Yeah.
I had to type that whole thing out into a message and send it to her. And I'm like, here, click on this link. And she's like, is this spam? I'm like, oh my God. Like, we've been talking for the past 2 hours. It's not spam. Just click on the darned link and reset your password, please.
Yeah.
And so she did it, and everything was cool. Like, we got the thing reset. I got logged in. I did all the updates. Good to go. So I did that. But you know what? In the meantime of me setting up Windows, I decided to do something crazy, guys. Something
What
crazy.
did you do?
Did you upgrade to Windows 11?
Wait,
No,
yeah.
not that crazy.
Oh,
No.
yeah. I was thinking, that would be cool. Somebody has got to take the bullet for the team.
Look,
and do
man,
it.
I'm going to do it. I'm rebuilding a computer for a friend of mine, and I'm gonna.
I'm not
try
that
it.
crazy. I'm
just
not that
gonna
crazy.
try it, see what happens.
I can't wait. You got to videotape your expressions.
Godspeed,
Videotape,
Sean.
yeah.
Godspeed. No, I didn't do something that crazy. But what I did was, and I've been hearing this in the news lately, not the TV news or the radio news, but like online news. There is this extension that you can get for Chrome. Now, Chrome has a lot of extensions built into it. You can add on new things to give you more of a personalized experience to Chrome. There's one that has been taking the news by storm. It's called Unfollow Everything.
Nice.
And it's made but this guy, Louis Barclay, made an extension for Chrome, and it allows you to get into Facebook. So what you do is you open up a tab with Facebook, and then you open up the extension, and there's just a simple button, and it says unfollow. You click that, and what you're doing is you're firing off a script, a program script that opens up your settings within Facebook, and you can see it on screen happening. It's like almost like somebody's moving your mouse,
right?
Except your mouse isn't really moving, but you'll see the settings window open up. You'll see the privacy and notifications, and then you're going to see the people that you follow, the pages, and the groups and the likes that you follow are all listed right here. And there's probably thousands of them per person. What this utility does is it goes through and unfollows every single person, group, page, anything you've ever done on Facebook that you said, yeah, that's funny, I like that. Boom, it unfollows you from that group. Thus being, when you finally get done with it and refresh your Facebook, your newsfeed is empty. Literally empty.
Now,
There's nothing.
is this unfriending people?
No.
Because I mean that would be kind of wrong.
No. So no. So that's the big difference here. You can unfriend someone. Okay, now we're talking about people, not groups or pages. Groups or pages, you can only just either leave the group or a page you can say unlike, right? Or unfollow. But with people, when you friend them, you automatically follow them.
Okay. All right.
And what this does is it lets you unfollow them so you don't see anything from them, but they will never be the wiser because they're still a friend of yours. They might just sit there and wonder once in a while, why doesn't Sean like any of my stuff anymore?
Because you're not seeing it, right?
Because you're not seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Now, Sean, you deactivated your Facebook.
Right. So you guys will get a kick out of this. We started talking about this pre-show, right? And I hadn't heard about it because Facebook doesn't exist for me, really.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just deactivated. So I have reactivated my Facebook just now
Oh, look at that.
during the show.
Yeah.
And I'm letting it run right now. And it's scrolling through, and I'm watching it scroll, and I'm seeing stuff that
You didn't even remember you liked.
I don't remember this. It must have been a promotion. It must have been something.
And here's the thing. Some of those pages that you like or whatever, yeah, you may have done it for a promotion. You may have done it for a contest. Or that page may not be that page anymore. That page may have garnered up a bunch of likes and followers and then sold themselves to another company who's just harvesting it for the data that goes along with it.
Wait, that happens?
Oh my gosh, all the time, dude.
Really?
All the time. So you might be like, you might follow a page that you're like, I really like what this content's all about. And all of a sudden you see a brand new page that you're like, wait, what? Why is this on my newsfeed? Because that page got sold or hacked by somebody else who has a different alternate or ulterior motive, and they've renamed the page and they put new content up. But all of a sudden now you are seeing that because you previously liked the page it used to be.
Oh, wow. Now, as you're seeing this, Sean, since he's running this right now, is it like showing you unliked, 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 unliked?
Well, so for one, if you're doing it and it's running, don't take priority away from that tab.
That's the big thing.
It stops running.
You got to understand
so
that.
I started it over like 4 times now.
Yes, you have to let it run, and it does catch up. It does get caught up, and it might stop. Now, here's the thing. Before you go, Sean, because I really want to mention this. Yes, you have to let it run, and it could take up to 20 minutes for it to run.
I'm letting it run right now. Yeah, but it definitely like Justin said, it looked like somebody clicked on my settings. It went to unfollow, and then it literally just populated my unfollow list, and I watched it just populate. So I watched it. It showed friends, it showed family, it showed pages, but now
here's the thing.
It's logged. Now it seems it's logged me out.
Okay, there's the thing. There's the next part. Facebook does not like this because it detects that you're doing this mass unfollowing, and that's detrimental to their business model. Because think about it, the more stuff you follow, the more stuff you're going to see, the longer you spend time on their platform, thus mean, class,
ads,
more advertising.
That's what it's all about.
So it logged me out. It kicked me to the screen. It's still showing that the extension is running. I still have the little screen that it shows me, but I'm logged out now.
It actually logged you out of it.
It logs you out of Facebook.
It logged me out. Yeah.
So Facebook is saying, nah, you're not unliking anything more.
Oh, my God.
So then you log back in. Now, here's the thing, but don't log back in, Sean. Refresh that page to reset the tool, then log back in, then rerun the tool. And you're going to have to do it 3, 4, 5 times, depending on how much stuff you have on your Facebook. You're going to have to run this tool a lot. But you can scroll through the list, and you can literally see it going from followed on a particular page to unfollowed.
Okay, so let me make a point here.
It goes ding, 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 and it just keeps unfollowing everything.
So then you get to this point where you finish. You've let it run, right?
Yep.
Then probably the thing to do is, because especially if you are following Tech Talk Radio.
I hope you are.
Yes.
Or recently unfollowed. You should probably go back.
So you go back and you can follow those select ones that you want to follow.
So here's what I did.
All right.
I watched the script run. And as it was scrolling through my followed feed, if I noticed something, I'm like, ooh, you know what? I like that. I forgot that I like that. I had a notepad opened up on a different monitor, and I would just type in the name. Okay, I want to follow Adams County Sheriff's Office.
Right.
Because that's the county I live in. Oh, I want to follow Tech Talk. Well, actually, do I really want to follow
Tech
Talk
Taylor.
Radio? Yep, Andy Taylor.
You're not following me anymore. Look at that.
Yeah, see, Andy Taylor, no. Tech Talk Radio, no. No.
But it's interesting because I'm still following people that aren't on my friends list anymore.
That's
people that I know that I got rid of.
Yeah. So how does that work? Because I always thought, so say, somebody is no longer your friend. So why are you
it's supposed to unfollow them.
Yeah. Have you ever done that where you log on to Facebook and you were friends with somebody a couple of years ago, you hadn't seen them for a while, and then suddenly a friend is a friend with theirs and they liked it. So they show up in your feed and then you go to look at their and you go, wait,
how do I know this person again?
When did we not become friends anymore?
Oh,
that's happened to me with family.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. No, me too. No, but here's the thing. Here's the whole moral of the story here. This is giving the user back their control of Facebook. Facebook wants you to spend as much time on their platform as possible because they want to sell you more advertising. The less things you follow, the less time you're going to spend on Facebook, thus less advertising for them. So Facebook hates this. And now I go back to my newsfeed. If I scroll through for a good minute, I see Tech Talk Radio. I see Raya Stream because I follow his page.
Oh, yeah.
I see Darkness 429. I see Andy Taylor. I see my wife, Misa. I see my mom.
Facebook hates this one simple trick.
I see, on top of that, I see about 55 ads.
Oh, so you're getting more ads.
Because these things are normally built into their algorithm to show up every 5 or 6 posts. Now I have 3 posts and I have 55 ads.
Wow.
So that's the downside to it. Facebook's like, you know what? Fine. You only want to follow 3 people? Here, have 10 times the ads.
Now,
and that's what they're going to do is they're going to make people stop using Facebook.
does this force people to unfollow you? Like if
No,
can
they
you-
don't. They don't know.
So that
They don't
can't
know.
that can't happen.
No, they have no idea that you've unfollowed them.
Yeah,
They
so
won't
won't
get a
know.
notification. Yeah, they won't get a
And they
notification.
won't automatically unfollow you
Nope.
because
They'll
they have
still
no
follow you.
idea. Because
Exactly.
there are people that you're probably following that they're like, gosh, I'm seeing a little too much of that.
Yeah, and nowadays, and this is the whole thing about this this last week tonight, John Oliver. He just talked about it last week.
Really?
Right? About misinformation. And it's not just strictly with Facebook. Facebook is really, really bad with it. I mean, come to think about it, look at the actual news. There's 2 different Facebook whistleblowers that are testifying in front of Congress saying that Facebook does not care about their users. They're only cared about profits.
All right, let me ask you guys, what do you think? What is the biggest, disinformation on the web? Is it just individualized websites with a plan? Twitter? Is it Instagram? Is it
Social media.
Is it just social media? Plain and
Social media.
plain and
Completely.
simple?
Completely. 100%. Sean?
This has always been my thought on it. It's given a voice to every viewpoint in life. The internet.
Yeah.
No matter what your viewpoint is. And it's given you a voice. It's given you a community. And when you have those 2 things, a community grows. And when a community grows, it expands, right? It grows larger. They can use that to
More influence.
more influence. They can use it to pull in members. They can use it to grow their ideas and grow their strength. And then all of a sudden and then it's literally worldwide.
Yeah.
That's
that's social
what's
media.
causing this to go so
Social
bad.
media
it's worldwide.
That's the thing. That there's a whole movie on Netflix about it, The Social Dilemma. Social media is destroying the fabric of society in general. Now, I'm not just talking about Facebook. Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram. Now, 3 of those 4 I just mentioned are owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
That should be alarming to you. Period.
One of my problems is, and we use Twitter a lot. I use Twitter a lot. I think, I use it to get the word out about a show when we post a new one or a video or whatnot. And, I see content on Twitter that alarms me. Yet they take steps sometimes to block certain people from using Twitter.
Yeah.
Yet they allow this content on there,
Well-
which really it just irks me.
The same thing happens on Facebook. Have you ever noticed if you go to like a public post, like a really viral public post, and somebody will just comment some random thing, right? Not maybe related to the post, but then you'll see an immediate comment below that with something like, "You've won $1,000.
Oh,
Check
yeah.
my post," right? And it's an account. It's a fake spam account.
Yeah.
Now here's a damning evidence towards Facebook right here. Is that I've seen countless times where people will report that profile as being a scam profile. And Facebook will then comment back to that person who reported it saying, "Yeah, we found nothing wrong with it. We're going to keep that profile up."
That's ridiculous.
Even though it's an absolute scam profile, Facebook's like, "Nah, we're good with it. We're going to keep it up. It hasn't violated our community standards," because it keeps people driving more back to the Facebook.
And because it's automated, so there's not somebody with a sense of ethics looking at it going, "This is a scam." It's a computer
their ethics computer
scanning for
sucks.
content that may be vulgar or inappropriate,
Like-
and then deciding it's not doesn't
I
meet
saw-
the community guidelines.
I saw a page, a picture of a page today that was literally, the page was called, or the person was called, Ellen DeGeneres, spelled wrong, dash 10,000 winner, dash check my profile. And Facebook still said, nothing wrong with that.
Wow. Yeah, well, the same thing goes. All right, did this test a few months ago. It cost me $100 to do. So an ad was posted on Facebook for a company, a sponsored ad. We've got overstock. We've got laptops. You could buy one for $88, right? And, I thought, I'm going to test this out. Let's see if this works. I spent the $88. That's it. Never got the laptop. but this is an ad because they're spending money on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yep.
And
Facebook doesn't care what they put on there.
No.
As long as they're getting their money, they don't care what they're putting on there.
It's like a publisher. Like, remember the old Penny Saver? Did you guys ever read the Penny Saver?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
somebody could post an ad in there. You don't know. They don't know. They paid for the ad. The ad's there.
Yep.
Now, if
That's
enough
it.
people complain, they wouldn't allow them to redo the ad. They just change their name and phone number, and that's it.
And this is what the whistleblowers in Congress are talking about. They're talking about how Facebook doesn't care about their users. All they want is your data and their advertising money. And the more time they can keep you on their platform, the more ads they can sell. And people are addicted to social media. This is literally a medical scientific fact that when you're on social media, it's the same as smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer. You're getting that dopamine hit. You want more. You want more dopamine in your brain, so you keep scrolling.
So let me talk about this for a minute. So because I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, those types of things, right? I submitted some photos to a photo contest. I can talk about that later. But they asked for a Facebook link and an Instagram link, Twitter link, and everything. So I thought, well, I'll just reactivate my Instagram for a minute, give them that in case they need it for something. And guess what? 20 minutes later, I realized I'm scrolling through Instagram.
Yep.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was like, wow, man, I really missed being able to see these things.
Yep.
And I was like, man, maybe I should just post these pictures here. And then I was like,
Yep.
wait.
Wait.
And
Wait.
it's still active, but I'm just having it there in case they need to reach out to me through Instagram for this contest.
Just in case. It's just like
How
that.
many-
It's just like the guy suffering from alcoholism, maybe, that has that bottle of liquor in the cabinet. Just in case I have a bad day.
How many times have you done this where you wake up, it's a beautiful morning, you get your coffee, and you grab your phone? I mean, and that's,
I look at my phone within 30 seconds after waking up.
yeah, that's, and for work, I can understand it, but then we go deeper on the phone. It's not a matter of just saying, did I get an emergency text last night? We then start going, let's see what's going on Instagram. Let's see what's going on Twitter. Let's see what's going on. Let's see how many people liked this week's show. Let's see. And we just fall into that. And there have been times where consciously, and I look at Sean and I bow down to him because he's been able to pull himself away from it. But there are times where next thing you go, I just don't want to touch the phone. I want to throw it across the room and leave it over there.
Yep.
But then you want to go pick it up, and what do? You start looking at it
Because you
again.
need that dopamine hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how that works.
It's still interesting because I still think that like the dopamine from certain things I do around the house, little projects and stuff, satisfied when I just cold turkeyed all social media. I got my dopamine back, but from doing projects and working with my hands around the house, doing little projects and stuff. And
You have to retrain your brain.
it's wild.
It's just the same
scary.
as smoking, drinking, whatever.
All right, for anybody that has not seen it, and this was something that kind of opened my eyes a bit, and Sean mentioned it, and Justin mentioned it, and we've talked about it. We've mentioned it on the show today. The Social Dilemma. If you have not seen that,
Netflix.
it's on Netflix. Now, about a month ago, the creator of that got together on Netflix, and they did kind of a forum. And in that forum, they talked about some of those issues and where we've been since. Now, I don't want to lose the fact that we've talked about this Chrome extension. This guy, Louis Barclay, he's had repercussions from Facebook.
Oh, absolutely. They banned him.
Not only on Facebook, but also on Instagram.
WhatsApp, all their other platforms. Yep,
For life.
they banned him for life. And they got GitLab to take down his thing. The GitLab is where he put the application.
Now, if listeners want to try and find it, chrome.google.com, but be careful where you're getting it from.
You know what? Honestly, I don't think we can tell them. I think maybe just Google, where can I get unfollow everything? Oh, look at that. There you go. You're welcome.
All right.
He literally says at the end of this article on the Slate, if anything that came out of this, his Facebook addiction is now definitely under control.
Oh, absolutely. No, it is. It is. Mine is too.
Perfect. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Justin did some other things when he was taking a little time off. I got a chance to play a game. We want to talk about one of the biggest TV shows ever that is on that people are talking about on social media. We'll do that when we come back. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Tech Talkers.
Refriend us on Facebook.
Yeah, refriend us on Facebook.
Make sure you follow us, but you can also find us on the web, the good old www.techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Hey, this is Dietrich Bader, and you're listening to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Tech Talk Radio.
So, Andy, you also found something else interesting about how you can regain a little bit more control over your Facebook profile.
Yeah, it's kind of a big surprise for a lot of people. And, you know, we're not dogging on Facebook. We're just talking about the fact that I think a lot of us have no clue, have no idea what social media knows about us. And this can apply to just about every form of social media. And Facebook does, being the big dog, does really know a lot. And there is information out there when you click on something that suddenly you are aligned with that. You like it. So they will feed those advertisements to those companies that will suddenly be able to feed ads more into your feed. Now, you would think, how does somebody sit there and do it? No, it's all done on what we call algorithms. Mm-hmm. So one thing to do is to find out what Facebook knows about you. And this was a big story a few years ago, but some people didn't even know that they do this. They can tell whether you're married. They can tell when your birthday is. They can tell who you work for. They can tell what things you've been looking for online, because this isn't necessarily tied to just Facebook. It could also be tied to, say, Google or a browser that you might be using that will sell that data back to Facebook.
Give an example, Andy. You talked about it in the break.
Yeah. So I recently, I've just recently refinanced a house of mine, right? And because of that, while using this tool, I found out that one of my interests is mortgages, which I think is pretty interesting. And it got even weirder with Instagram. And I've never done any of that stuff, that searching with Instagram, but it actually showed a home in the neighborhood of the house where I own, and that I could reach these real estate people to handle anything I needed with that home. But I've never given the address of that home. So here's one thing you could do. Open up your Facebook and you go to your settings button, which generally you're going to find that in the top right? Once you get to your settings, you then want to click on the button that says ads. All right.
It's all the way down at the bottom.
All the way to the bottom left. Now, once you get to that, it can be a little deep, but then what you want to do is, so you get to ads, you're going to see ad settings. All right. Your ad preferences will come up in ad settings. Then you'll see categories used to reach you. So you go ahead and you scroll down and just keep scrolling down and you'll see interest categories. All right. That's one you can look at. Click on that. And you are going to start to see all the different categories you're listed with that, they could feed you ads on. Like for me, American Federation of Government Employees, since I work with a union, veterans, mortgage loans, real estate, beer. I generally don't drink beer. Yeah. Hunting. When do I do hunting? Interior design, marriage. What the heck?
No. But not
boutiques.
only this is going to really surprise you. And this is what Facebook thinks about you. Now, it used to be a couple years ago, and I kind of talked about this during the break, but you could go in and you could see, and it would show you things like what Facebook thinks your political leaning is. And mine showed extreme right. And I was like, yo, wait, what? No. Mm-hmm. And it even mentioned things about certain groups that you may join in the future. And it mentioned stuff that's not necessarily within my beliefs, but it thought because it thinks that I'm an extreme right, it thinks I want to join these extremist right-wing groups. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah.
But I think they've gotten rid of that part of it. Instead, they've just replaced it by interest categories. But if you go back to that first page you talked about, where it talks about categories used to reach you, when it talks about employer, job title, education, relationship status, turn all of that off.
Yeah.
Turn it all off. Go into the interest categories and remove everything. Go into the other categories below that, and it talks about mobile network or device users. Remove. Potential mobile network or device change. Remove. Wi-Fi usage. Remove. Remove it all. Don't give Facebook the opportunity to give you more ads than
but
you
Justin,
absolutely need.
Isn't this going to give you a better experience online?
Yeah, better experiences than bombarding you with things you don't need. And I've fallen victim to that. I'm sure you have, where you're scrolling through Facebook and you see an ad for something, you're like, ooh, that looks actually kind of cool. I might like that. And then you go buy it. Boom. Now you've just told Facebook, okay, Justin likes magnets. Mm-hmm. Let's show him ads about magnets or whatever, it may be. And all of a sudden now your ads are just because this is what happens with them.
There's another section on there, too, with audience-based advertising. The advertisers using your activity or information. And some of those include, for me, Amazon.com. Okay, I understand that.
Sure.
Experian, marketing services. Okay, I understand that. Adobe, I understand that. But I'm looking at one here and it says The Gap. I'm like, when
Wait,
have I bought The Gap? I'm thinking, what if I bought jeans at The Gap?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they sell your information. You may have just at one point looked up jeans on Google. Yeah. Well, Google's just sold your information to Facebook, and Facebook uses that to sell to their advertisers to show you ads.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So it gives you a little ability to take control of what you have. And again, if you miss that and you need those step-by-steps, again, just drop me an email, and I'll go ahead and sell your data and then share it with you. That way you'll know. But yeah, pretty crazy
Support
stuff.
Tech Talk by sending us your data.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so one of the big shows this week, no doubt, they're saying it is going to be the most watched television series in the history of streaming media.
It already is.
Yeah, I think they anticipate in the first 30 days, which we have not hit yet, 84 million people will watch this show, all because of word of mouth.
Yep.
And a show's called The Squid Game.
It's really weird. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it is extremely weird. I watched episode 1 last night.
Okay, what'd you think?
It is really weird. It's like Hunger Games meets Battle Royale.
Meets Lost, meets Saw.
Yeah, sure. There you go. Meets Lost, meets Saw. Yeah, it is really messed up.
Caitlin has been watching it. She summed it up as driving past an accident and not being able to look away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And here, the best part about it is, okay, so it's a Korean show made by a Korean company, Korean director.
South Korean.
Yes. Yeah. Well, is there another Korea? I'm sorry. I don't know of any other Korea.
There actually is, yeah.
Anyway, but the thing is it's produced, made, starring, and directed by Koreans. So obviously it's filmed in Korean language.
Right.
However, Netflix, this is one of the best parts about it, is they did a voiceover for it, and it is the cheapest actors you can find, and it is almost hilarious.
They did an okay job.
To listen. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it was okay, but it's just so funny. It takes you back to the old Kung Fu days.
Well, it's kind of like when you watch a movie with subtitles. After a while, you kind of forget you're watching a movie with subtitles. Yeah. I think it's the same way. You kind of forget.
You do. You just go with
it. That's their voices. I will tell you something. And Sean, when you do eventually see it, I hated it. I absolutely despised the first episode. It's sadistic. It's sadistic. It's gory. It's bloody. My friends told me about it. I said, and we sat down. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awful. And I even said, you want me to change it? And, Gloria was like, no, let's keep it going. And did. And then they rolled it. You know how Netflix is? It'll just roll into the next episode.
Yeah.
Because they dropped them all.
Yeah.
And that first 5 minutes of that second episode grabbed me. That's when it said, oh, wait, this is about people. So the first episode, if you get through it, you might care enough about the characters to watch the second episode. And from that point on, it will continue to move. It will still have those moments where you may want to turn your head because of the gory part of it and the violence. But it does have a very compelling story. Like Caitlin said, driving by an accident, you can't take your eyes off of it.
It is.
So with this, it stirred up some drama on Twitter because there is a girl who is part of a podcast that I watched back when I was really into World of Warcraft called the Yogscast, which is kind of a bunch of UK nerds that make videos.
Oh, yeah.
Her Twitter handle is Squid Game.
And what happened to her?
And her Twitch is Squid Game.
Yes.
Yeah, she had a Twitch.
And
I heard about
active.
this.
She got banned from all of those platforms because
I heard
people-
about this.
Just because it became so popular, everybody was just attacking her.
They were
content
reporting.
with-
They were
Yeah,
reporting
they were-
her for being a fake profile because they thought they were talking to the page of the movie or the
Correct.
show, not the gamer.
Correct. And she was on a Keemstar video. She became very, very popular overnight. And now she's back on. She's got all of her accounts back.
Did they give her back her handle, the whole bit?
Yeah, she's still
cool.
she's still posting on Squid Gaming, but it's crazy that a TV show like that can have an impact like that on social media.
Yeah. Now, some people have thought, okay, so the way it ended, when you get to that point, I've watched the whole thing. I've gone through all 9 episodes of it. There is a couple episodes in there that are like maybe, I want to say 35 minutes, 40 minutes, not the full hour, because the first one is an hour. You'll get to when you get to the end, you'll be like, okay, I want to see more. They don't have the second season done yet. And trust me, they will, but the writing's going to have to be just as good. It really is. And they kind of left it open. So we'll have to see where that goes. But that was a big show.
It's a huge show. It is the #1 show in the history of Netflix.
All right. Now, the other one I want to mention, this is available now on Blu-ray and DVD. I've seen it. Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my gosh. I want to see that so bad. I mean, I can watch it right now if I wanted, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I love
can
Ryan
watch
Reynolds.
it right now if I wanted to, but I haven't gotten around to it. Kayla and I want to watch it together at some point. So
Take the time when you do to no interruptions. Watch it in the best quality you can. The visual effects are great. It's directed by Sean Levy. I believe that's Eugene Levy's kid. It's got some cameos in there. The best cameo, though, Chris Evans.
My gosh, yeah.
I will just tell you.
Who plays Captain America, by the way?
Not in this movie.
No.
But I will tell you, it's a 20, maybe a 10-second cameo, but you will fall out of your chair laughing. It is so well done. There's homages to Star Wars. You've got the Marvel characters, but this is a Disney movie, not Disney as in happy joy for the kids.
Yeah.
It's made by Disney.
It's a rated R or
no,
PG-13?
I think it's PG-13.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good. If you get a chance, check the one out. It's got some good music in there as well. Everything from Fred Astaire to the Mamas and the Papas.
Ryan Reynolds is such an amazing actor. And the thing is I was just talking to somebody about this today. Ryan Reynolds kind of made his breakout with the Van Wilder series.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 movies, right? Was it 2 movies,
I don't
Sean?
know. I don't even
I
saw
think
them.
there's a minimum of 2. There might be
Okay,
more.
let's say that. But then after that, he kind of disappeared. Like nobody really talked about him. And then all of a sudden
He showed up in X-Men as Deadpool.
4 years before Deadpool made it to the big screen.
That's what I was leading to is he disappeared and all of a sudden he shows back up as Deadpool. And if you don't know who Deadpool is, he's the merc with a mouth. He's a superhero just the same as any of our Marvel, but he's rated R compared to everybody else rated PG or PG-13.
And Disney has said that for the next Deadpool 3, they will still be keeping it as an R-rated movie, which is good because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take another quick break. We come back, more video game stuff, more tech stuff. We'll be back with more of Tech Talk Radio.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Tech Talk Radio.
Now, Sean, I saw on the internet today a Snap. I thought you got rid of Snapchat, but you kept Snapchat.
So there are a couple things that I kept in social media. Snapchat was one of them because it's a easy way for me to keep in. We have a cousins Snapchat group.
Sure.
That's really the only time I ever snap is to that, or maybe to a couple friends. It's not.
Okay.
I don't use it that often. Reddit is where I get a lot of my news from and things like that because you can't not live on the internet in an age like today, right? So
yeah.
But
I did see your Snap, and it was interesting because you were showing off your new media server for your camper, correct?
Yeah. So probably 6 months ago or so, I had designed up a mobile 12-volt media server, meaning I could boondock with this media server and run it off my battery and run it basically a rechargeable solar panel battery, whatever. It's a Raspberry Pi with a TP-Link Nano router, wireless router. It has one Ethernet port on it. It's great.
Yeah.
So
It's
I'm
big enough for a
taking-
camper.
Right. So both of those run off 5 volts. I take 12 volt out of so there's a 12 volt main that comes to my stereo in the camper.
Uh-huh.
I split that off into what I call a 12 volt rail, meaning I've got multiple ports where I can plug 12 volt devices into. So I took a 12 volt path out to a buck converter, which takes 12 volts and drops it down to 5 volts, giving me 3 amps out, which is exactly what the Raspberry Pi needs to run. So I have 2 of those in line, meaning I have 2 5-volt paths, 3 amps out. One for the Raspberry Pi, one for the TP-Link router.
Okay.
So I originally wanted to run Plex because that's what I run at home. And I just felt like I could stay logged in. It'd be great. I could have all my media. I'm familiar with it. But I couldn't keep it stable. It kept crashing the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
I kept getting voltage alerts. It kept saying it was drawing too much power. It was too much. So I found out through some research that Plex does a more aggressive library query.
Oh, yeah.
So it was keeping the drive spun up all the time.
Which is amazing because I've got Plex, and I've got the same thing. It's always, I could hear that drive always getting indexed and always
So
doing searching.
the drive was continually getting either was continually getting indexed or was pulling metadata or.
But it's not
whatever.
a drive. It's an SD card.
No, I have a 1 terabyte
Yeah.
external hard drive.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was constantly querying or trying to update information, and it kept drawing too much power because it was just the drive was reading. As the drive reads faster and reads more data, it burns more power.
So it's interesting because I put my Plex server on a Synology. Now I told you guys about that Synology.
Yeah.
I don't ever hear the Synology spin up, but yet my Plex library is up to date.
Yeah, but are you running SSDs in there?
No.
No, because I'm running spinnies in my WD,
Yeah, Spinnies,
my book.
mine. Yep.
And I can
I got
hear it.
4 2 terabyte drives in a RAID 5.
Right. So you guys are getting a little bit away from the issue, right? Mine's not
It's voltage.
It's not that it's doing it all the time. I'm only running it off 5 volt.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I'm running off 12 volt, and if I'm pulling too much power because of the way the camper set up, I might be just a little on the low side of 12 volts. So I might be on the low side of 5 volt. It's drawing too much power. It's causing the Pi to become unstable. So what I did was I nuked it. I reinstalled Raspbian. I remounted the drive. I'm running a new different media server called EMBY, EMBY.
All right.
I used a website that I've mentioned on here before, alternative2.net, which you can type in Plex. It'll show you a million different media softwares that work just like Plex, and I haven't had an issue since.
Now,
I don't know if it's.
Does MB have the same features that Plex does, where now they're streaming, television content and the whole bit?
Yes, but they do, and you can sign up for a premium account, and basically it's just like Plex. It's not as much as Plex because Plex has definitely become more mainstream.
Yeah,
and a lot more popular. But what I like is that it doesn't try and reach out to the internet all the time, like Plex does.
Yeah.
Where if I connect it to the internet, I log into my account, and then I take it offline when I go camping. As soon as I go to it tries to log me in. It says I can't log you in, and then it's a struggle because I don't have it connected to a monitor. So then I have to remote into it on my iPad or something else, and try and start the server. And it was a pain. So I went with this other media service called MB. I just did it today as the recording of the show, so I haven't played with it too much, but I was able to stream on 3 different devices with no problem. I was able to keep it running for multiple hours. So I'm in a great spot at this point. So I'm excited about it. So I'll share some pictures. But
what's the difference in subscription costs for, say, MB versus Plex TV?
I don't know what. I know you can do a lifetime subscription to Plex.
Right.
Yeah, it's like 130, 150.
I think MB Premium was $4.99 a month.
$499 a month?
No,
$4.99. Just making sure.
But you don't need it to run the basic media server, right?
Yeah,
right.
You need it to be able to do advanced features or other small quality of life things. But I'm very happy with it so far. Like I said, I just redid it today, and it's working, so that's good.
So for our listeners who don't know what that means, when you have a media server, that means like you could be, say you're going on a trip and you've got content at home that you own, that you decide you want to put on a server, so that you don't have to carry a whole bunch of DVDs with you or CDs, or maybe you want to show like a family. You've done family films where you've taken your whole, so you want to show it, but you don't want to carry it around. No problem. You could go ahead and just connect to and you can easily connect to your server with an iPad or a computer somewhere out there in the world and be able to watch that content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
the benefit of it being is it's 12 volt, so it'll run off the camper system when I'm not plugged into shore power. Obviously it'll drain the battery, that type of thing. But that's, you just have to be kind of aware of those types of things when you're camping. But it
really
allows
cool.
me to have access to my media on the go. And like I can just connect my iPad to the Bluetooth and the radio in the camper and stream the video to my iPad. We can watch a show while we make dinner, or if it's, the weather's terrible. It's just kind of a cool thing that I thought of and I wanted to do, and it worked out. So
Have you ever
it's really
used?
awesome.
Have you ever used the audio features of the server? I never have, but like you could take your library of music that maybe you have, and you can actually have that streamed to your device. So that way,
I have at home. I have all of my music lives in one folder on my Plex server that I have, and I could go in and just say shuffle my entire music library. It's music I've been collecting and ripping CDs since I was a kid. So I think I'm pushing about 2.5 terabytes total of data right now.
oh man,
Because I was at 1 terabyte, then I moved up to 2 terabyte drives, and then I think last Black Friday I bought 2 4 terabyte drives. So I have a primary and I do an Acronis daily backup.
right?
So I've got 2 4 terabyte drives that are hot. Like if one dies, I'm going to have a backup, a exact backup. So
Very nice. That's pretty cool stuff. I do like that. All right, now one of the things that Justin said that he did during this kind of a little downtime he had
Barely.
on recording day was you got a chance to play New World, which I've not yet had a chance to play. Is it still as popular as when it first came out?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's actually even better. It's given them time to update some of the bugs, and also the initial craziness about it has a little bit subsided, so you don't have to wait in line as long. I mean, so let me just go back. New World is it's a game that it's a massively multiplayer online game, kind of like World of Warcraft. Kind of like meets Guild Wars / meets Elder Scrolls Online. It's made by Amazon. And you can get in there and you can create a character and you can just do whatever you want to do. You don't have to necessarily follow the storyline. You could just go out and, fish. You can just go out and fish for hours on end. You can go out and chop down trees for hours on end. You can go mining ore or picking herbs. Whatever you want to do, you can just do what you want to do, but you contribute all the while. You're contributing to your faction, and there's 3 main factions in this game. The thing that really makes this game is that each of these 3 factions is fighting for control of a territory. Now, the big map is divided into territories, and each faction can take control of said territory and govern it by placing taxes upon the residents that live in that area, or people that might travel and want to do a little bit of trading or crafting. You have to pay taxes. So having your faction in control of an area that you're in is beneficial to you. So it drives people to build themselves up, be better, contribute towards the greater good, which is to control the area. And then you go to war and you get these 50 versus 50 massively multiplayer wars that happen. And so you got 50 people on each side fighting each other for control of a territory. And so the best part about this game, though, is it's a one-time cost. It's $49.99.
Right.
There's no monthly subscription like there is with World of Warcraft or whatever. It's a one-time cost. After that, everything else is free. Now, you can go and buy stuff in-game if you want to get a boost, whatever, but you don't have to. And I'm really thoroughly enjoying this. As a matter of fact, after we get done recording, I'm going to go play because it's a relaxing thing for me to go and just chop down trees or to go and fish.
Right.
I can just go do that. If I want to get into a big battle in a war, sure, I can do that. If I just want to chill and catch some fish, okay, I can do that too. But it's called New World.
Now, Sean, you played it, right? Have you had a chance?
I have not played.
Oh, I thought you were going to try it.
I have some friends that played it.
Got to do it, me.
I thought about playing it. I got caught back up in Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Yeah, you did.
But I do, like I said, I have some friends that are playing it. They seem to be really enjoying it. I think one of my friends said it's RuneScape meets 2021.
Nice.
Very similar to RuneScape.
It's for me, it's similar to more Guild Wars, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't been interested in trying it, to be honest.
All right.
Oh,
I mean,
I've
watched some videos and I've had some friends play it, but just haven't bit the bullet. Just wanted to drop $49 on it.
Before we take another break, I got to tell you about a piece of hardware I found. Do you guys recommend any driving game, which is like where you're driving, not flying an airplane, but actually driving? What would be the best?
Racing or driving?
Say racing.
Well, what was the
Motorsport?
No, what's the Project Car or Project iCars or something?
Project Cars is good.
That's like the most realistic.
iRacing would really be your most realistic.
Yeah.
So
Project Cars is good. Forza Motorsport is good.
iRacing.
But Dirt, if you're into rally racing, the Dirt series is
I remember
really good.
Dirt, yeah.
Gran Turismo on the PlayStation.
Okay, so I want to tell you, I was in Best Buy this week, and I've never seen this before. They have the Logitech G923. It's a true force feedback racing wheel that's for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Now, it sells for about $400.
You're going to put that in the mail to me when?
Yeah, I definitely want to get one of these. It's got the pedals, it's got steering wheels, force feedback, it's got the game controllers on the wheel. So, again, you can have a lot of fun with this. If you want to get more info, go to logitechg.com. I was really impressed with this. We'll be right back after this from Tech Talk Radio.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
All right, I've got we always talk about social media. I got another show that I think would be kind of cool for you guys to watch. You like movies, right?
Of course.
All right.
Who doesn't?
All right. So there's a show called The Movies That Made Us. It's a series. And each episode is a deep dive into the making of a movie. Like Back to the Future. They've done that one, and it's so good. They talk to people that were a part of it, that helped make the movie, the people we don't even know that were behind the scenes. Well, a brand new season has dropped. It came out just this past Tuesday, and it features a look at the making of Aliens, which is great. Halloween, the original with John Carpenter, and some other great, Nightmare Before Christmas, some other great stuff on there. So again, if you get a chance, take a look at that one on Netflix. The Movies That Made Us. Season 3 is now out. And you've got kind of a cool website you want to share.
Yeah, I just stumbled across this one a while back, but it's called stuffin.space. So STUFFIN, stuffin.space.
Now, what is it?
It's a kind of like a Google Earth type of 3D map that shows you every piece of space trash that's currently in orbit around Earth.
Like the back seat of my car? The wrappers?
Absolutely, everything. And what's cool about it is you click on any one of these little dots that's floating above Earth, and it will tell you that it's a payload, it's debris, whatever. But then there's a link that says find all objects from this launch, and now it shows you all of the space debris from that particular launch. So let's say they launch a satellite into space. You'd think, well, that's it. They put a satellite in space. What you don't realize is there's, in this particular case, there's about 100 different pieces of space trash that are floating along with it in various parts of the orbit. So this is all of the space trash. Is there
a lot? I mean, I'm not looking at it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's a lot.
Millions of pieces of space trash
now,
that are floating around Earth.
Is what Blue Origin and what what the other guys that are putting stuff up.
SpaceX.
Yeah, is that kind of going to be eliminating that since they're reusing some of the payloads?
Oh, a lot of it. A lot of it. I mean, but with SpaceX, you still got the main capsules when they launch a satellite. I believe there's still a part of that of that spaceship that doesn't come back, but it's a lot smaller than the rest of it. But when it comes to like the engines, even when they launch a traditional spacecraft, the engine still falls down to Earth.
Right.
It just crashes in the middle of the ocean and burns up,
Yeah.
But with SpaceX, and Blue Origin, I guess, they're reusing their rockets. So those are the things that don't come back to Earth. But the stuff that goes into space, you're still going to get, panels on the side of the spacecraft that may have to open up to release the satellite. Those panels are being blown off, and they're still floating in space.
Oh, not good. All right, give us that address one more time.
Stuffin.space.
All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. Next week, we will find out if Sean truly cleared his Facebook, and is he still on it?
It's still running at the end of the show, so we'll have to see.
Have yourselves a great week. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll see you next week.